Hello everyone, my name is Tae Nam. I'm working for Graduate School of Governance, Sungkyunkwan University in Korea. This class introduced two projects of the Korean Digital New Deal initiative for digital literacy and capabilities. These two projects include digital capability development and Wi-Fi for the general public and schools. This class will discuss how these two national projects lead to digital transformation in Korea and what other countries, especially developing countries, could learn from these ongoing projects. We have two objectives of this class. You will understand digital capability development, and then you will understand the improvement of wireless internet. The course structure is aligned with these two objectives of the class. The first theme is developing digital capabilities for all people, so-called digital inclusion. And second theme is upgrading public Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi for public schools. Fourth theme. The first theme is developing digital capabilities for all people. So we can say digital inclusion. There is a digital gap in the manless and contactless environment. So we can say a matter of basic right to life. This is a very important word, a matter of basic right to life. But we have digital gap. Many of the digital gaps are actually unavoidable. But we need to bridge that. We need to minimize that kind of gap. That is important assignment for the government. Promoting digital capacity building education for all people. That's the very important mission of the Korean government. By building digital capacity centers in daily life facilities and providing comprehensive education customized target, group, and levels, and creating jobs by deploying professional instructors and supporters. These three things are main objectives of this digital inclusion initiative. Leading agencies are NIA, National Information Society Agency in Korea. This plan for developing the digital capacity for all citizens build digital capacity education centers in local communities, neighbors, and daily life facilities, roughly 1,000 centers annually, provide digital education to help citizens in their daily lives, and expand visit-based one-on-one digital capacity building education for mobility impaired or severely disabled citizens who find it difficult to join group education. For example, in 2020, 4,000 citizens. In 2022, more than 10,000 citizens will be aided, will be supported. Plan for developing digital capacity for all citizens established online-based digital education framework in which all citizens can assess their digital capacity level and receive education customized to each level and purpose. And this plan increases opportunities for all citizens to learn and experience software and AI, and specifically provide students living on remote islands or who are disabled with opportunities to learn and experience AI technologies. Previously, we can say we were living in informatization society. But we are now approaching to the new trend, new paradigm with the fourth industrial revolution and the age of digital transformation that is called intelligent informatization society. That is a very big transition now. So informatization society, the government focus on the digitally, socially weak people because they are marginalized due to their socioeconomic reasons. That's the typical labeling digital divide at the time. But intelligent informatization society, the target group is now different. Anyone in need. For example, the underserved, or not just technologically, but due to the various reasons. And place, local welfare centers are very important key places to support or by serving the services. But now, more than 1,000 live spaces. Almost any place is okay. And PC-based lectures to experience-based guide for mobile and real-life activities. Any device is okay, any place is okay, any types of guide is okay. That is intelligent informatization society's new digital inclusion plan strategies. This map shows South Korea's map. We divided into three regions, and then three regions have, according to the population size, 5 centers, 3 centers, and 10 centers. We distributed to kind of systems or the targets of education. We use library system, post office, informatization village, and community center. We used already existing infrastructures. The educational target, as I mentioned earlier, all people in need. So designate more accessible life, SOC. For example, not only welfare center, but we used any types of organization, community center, public library, post office, senior center. All of these kind of things can be used as digital capacity building centers for all people. So we can say real life activity oriented education. Education target, as I mentioned earlier, we used all these kind of facilities and offer, and the Korean government also offers employment opportunities for instructors and supporters for students with excellent performance in digital capacity building education. This is the number of employments. We have some main achievements. For example, anytime, anywhere education for anyone. This is a very important approach. Education targeted for minorities and the socially weak. This is a very important thing. For example, sound-based and for the blind, and captioning and sign language for the hearing impaired people, and multiple language captioning for multicultural families, immigrants and permanent residents. So this kind of thing is for strategy for anytime, anywhere education for anyone related to digital literacy, digital capacity building. The digital inclusion, not only for the socially weak, but for all people with a lower level of digital literacy. This plan, this strategy bridge the digital divide in the digital capacity. The government gives more opportunities in socio-economic activities. The second theme is upgrading public Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi for schools. Public Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi for schools. So improving digital infrastructure is critical. How can we make improvements to the digital infrastructure? The first area of this target is 5G network. Developing public sector, lead agencies, services based on 5G network. And also improving the quality of public Wi-Fi and expand its coverage. and achieving the 100% Wi-Fi installation in all elementary, middle, and high school classrooms, and establishing wireless school environment. Because now Korean the institutional education, for example, elementary to middle and high school education, is now previously offline based, now online based. We are now approaching to online education. So now it's mixture, fusion of offline education and online education. So this kind of online tradition is very important in terms of digital infrastructure. The building wireless network in schools, this plan, this strategy, or this initiative was led by NIA, National Information Society Agency. Building wireless networks in schools, this initiative improving wired and wireless network within elementary, middle, and high schools to vitalize future-oriented public education. So this kind of education is now future-oriented and new wave of education. Installing wireless APs in this number of classrooms and nationwide. And related to this kind of installation of wireless networks, related job creation is another effect, another expectation. So 9,600 jobs were created in direct effects or indirect effects expected. This is a Korean map, South Korea. The number is the number of classrooms to be equipped with Wi-Fi networks. So Wi-Fi equipped classroom, this is the numbers of those classrooms. Plan for Wi-Fi in schools. Important thing is digitalization of education infrastructure. This plan expands digital infrastructure and educational materials to incorporate a blend of online and offline methods into learning environments of all elementary, middle, and high schools, universities, and also job training institutions across the country in Korea. 1.3 trillion Korean won, including 0.8 trillion Korean won from the Treasury, will be invested by 2025 to create 9,000 jobs. K-12, so-called K-12, grades 1 to 12, from elementary school to high school. Full coverage of high-speed classroom Wi-Fi will be provided to all schools across the country. Timeline is from 80,000 classrooms in June 2020 to 240,000 classrooms, 3 times more, based on the supplementary budget of 2020, and to all 380,000 classrooms by 2022. This is a very ambitious plan. Plan for Wi-Fi in schools, create technology-based education infrastructure for grades 1 to 12. A total of 200,000 old computers and laptops of faculty members will be replaced with new ones, and 240,000 tablet PCs will be provided to 1,200 schools that will test out the online text-box program in order to develop new teaching and learning models. An integrated platform will be launched for online learning that utilize various educational materials and big data to provide customized learning materials. This new platform provides both public and private learning materials and supports all stages of learning. The School Wireless Network Environment Project has the classroom Wi-Fi enabling online and offline education on any digital devices in any place in schools. That is a very important goal or purpose of this initiative. Online, offline education is enabled with any digital device in any place of the schools. There were rising needs for non-contact online classes, especially 2020 and 2021 because of the pandemic. So this Wi-Fi installation, Wi-Fi expansion plan was very much aligned with the pandemic, the years. In 2020, the School Wireless Network Environment Project. In 2020, Wi-Fi installed in 4 classrooms per school, no control tower for school Wi-Fi, and aging wireless infrastructure in school. That was the problem. So bad condition, especially in small and medium-sized enterprises due to prolonged COVID-19 pandemic. So people have the needs to support domestic enterprise and domestic products to overcome pandemic-driven economic crisis. 2021 got better, installing 117,000 Wi-Fi routers in all classrooms for grades 1 to 12 by June 2021. We already did it. And Wi-Fi remote control system for dealing with problems. And School Wi-Fi Tech Help Center was established. And this plan improved LAN infrastructure in all schools. So green and smart schools are kind of big overarching the title of this plan. Green remodeling of schools, Wi-Fi coverage rate for schools. The second thing, Wi-Fi coverage rate for school. This is the whole plan. Encouraging the classroom Wi-Fi coverage for primary and secondary schools to 100% by 2021. Next year, we will get 100% installed to all K-12 schools. The final theme is public Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi for the public, general public. Korea, we have 3 big major mobile carrier, mobile telecommunication companies, big companies, SKT and LG and KT. These 3 companies, this is a 2 mobile carriers example. Which one is not important? So important thing is kind of this kind of concentration of the Wi-Fi hotspots, because these areas more people are living here because this is a metropolitan areas. The issue is some metropolitan areas or populated areas have more Wi-Fi hotspots. That is taken for granted, actually. That is very obvious. But not only those some selected areas, but almost all areas should have equal opportunity of access to Wi-Fi. That is very important strategy for the Korean government and also Korean people. The number of public Wi-Fi devices in Seoul is the capital city of Korea, is very increased with a high speed. For example, 2019, 7,420, and 2022, 23,750. The quick jump. The Korean government and also the metropolitan city of Seoul have visions of free public Wi-Fi. I just captured the citation of the article of the government pronouncement. For example, Seoul has announced its plan to build data-free city. Data-free city means in anywhere in the city, people, residents, visitors, anyone living in or visiting the city, they can use data for free, for nothing. They can need to pay for their data use. That's the real spirit of Wi-Fi. The Seoul Metropolitan Government plans to install more than 16,000 public Wi-Fi application processors around the city by 2022, extending the coverage area to 100%. The target year is 2022. So this kind of activity or plan marks a first for any city in the world. The first city will be Seoul, and building a municipal broadband network that covers its entire metropolitan area. Public Wi-Fi plan, wireless internet infrastructure in all public spaces across the country, especially islands and remote places. The right of access to telecommunication, that is very important word. So this plan will decrease data use costs for visitors to parks and community centers, include everyone. And also 42,000 Wi-Fi locations, including 18,119 public spaces and 24,000 buses, public buses, is possible with government subsidy. So in 2021, we will have 32,150 public Wi-Fi hotspots in accumulation. So the public spaces Wi-Fi hotspot will be expanded, include community centers, parks, bus stops, almost everywhere. This is real screen capture that we can use my smartphone, the Seoul Bus Free Wi-Fi. So this ID and password is provided for everyone while I'm ride to the bus. Korea has ushered in new era of Wi-Fi as the government has allocated a new frequency band for next generation Wi-Fi. So 5G or the high frequency, that kind of the band is used for more people's use. That's the new paradigm of the Korean free Wi-Fi for all residents and all visitors in Seoul. So Korea is the first country in the world to allow Wi-Fi connection between devices in that frequency band. The new Wi-Fi is expected to help 5G conversion services based on connections between 5G terminals and AR and VR devices. So maybe we can use with my smartphones AR and VR services because of we have 5G networks. That is kind of new ambition of the free public Wi-Fi sooner or later. This is the final slide. First theme was digital capacity building for all. This plan supported the underserved by various regions, not only socially weak. This plan reached out to the underserved across localities and connecting various organizations and institutions for digital capacity building. And Wi-Fi for education and also the general public. Wi-Fi, the new installation and new expansion plan improves the school education environment. And this plan enhances universal access to hotspots. This can increase the equal opportunity to access to the information. And this plan will end soon the technical access divide. And this plan considers efficiency and also effectiveness in Wi-Fi expansion. I hope you understand the Korean ongoing projects in terms of digital capacity building for all and Wi-Fi for education and the public. Okay, this is what I prepared for all. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next class. Bye.